Truth is stranger than fiction. When it gets too hot in your kitchen.
Let's just look at Libya, and then we'll look at Greece. Okay, so Libya was possibly the richest and most centralized, powerful nation in Africa. Gaddafi was ex-CIA, I believe, but there was no debt in Libya, and they had their own banking system. Is that correct?
Not only did they have their own banking system, he also started. The whole idea, if I understand it right, was to bring forward a totally new African currency.
That's right.
That would liberate the African countries. And this whole thing about him CIA, I would be very careful because, you know, there's so much disinformation out there as well. I'm not a Gaddafi supporter. I thought he was a bit weird. But at the same time, when you look at what he did for his people, it is said that he was a dictator. They had free healthcare. If somebody was sick and couldn't be taken care of in that country, he was given a ticket to wherever in the world to be treated. Yeah, nobody was poor. It was distributed among the population. The wealth was distributed and so on. This is what I would say is like a pretty good leader.
Yeah,
you know, this is somebody who cared. This is somebody who took care of people, who did not invest in his own, just in his own life all the time, you know, like all of these other dictators that are put there by CIA and other people that just lives an absolute overflow of money, billions, palaces, all of this at the same time when people are starving to death in the streets.
Yeah,
I thought, but it was the central bank that they need. And also it was his currency. I can't remember the currency. Also, he wrote a book, it's called The Green Book or something like that, where he described a way of distributing the political power to the population, to each and every single individual in the population, giving the power back instead of focusing it on one person, a so-called leader.
Yeah, that's right.
In my book, I applaud that, you know, even though he looked like he was stoned out of his head many times, but then again, what his actions spoke beautifully, and that is also why they took him out.
Well, that's right. It was the dinar, I do believe, just looking on Google, was the local currency at the time.
Yeah, but it wasn't the local currency. He was creating a totally new currency.
That's right, he was, yeah. And he was going to start trading. I think he might have traded for a period of time off the dollar for oil. That was one of the things.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not. I don't know enough about this.
No, I'm not an expert either.
But I think it was based on gold, on real value, you know, instead of on the promise of something maybe in the future, which is where we are today.
Well, that's right. And so the Americans and the British, I believe those two powers to be the hub of this tyranny. God save the Queen and all that. But they went in and they handed the Libyans some democracy, as they did in Iraq, and they're trying to do very successfully in Syria now. But we'll get onto that in a bit. But I do believe that Libya is now an absolute. It's a horrible place to live. I understand. I've never been there. Okay, so I don't have any first-hand experience. I don't know if you've got anything to say about Iraq and Libya and what's going on in the extended African nations and the Middle East.
I mean, I think to look at this upon like nations are doing different things to each other is a mistake. You have to look at the New World Order as a handful of people, corporations almost, that are just looking upon countries as territory. You know, there's no loyalty, there's nothing, well, the French and the English, it's above that. They look at global fascist dictatorship, total control in all aspects of life. And when it comes to Syria, Libya, North Korea, Iran, Cuba, these countries that they've really messed up so bad, and they so want to get, you know, poke them with a stick, you know, to come on, let's fight, you know, you're too coward, you're too much of a coward. They want this war going that will justify them invading for democracy,
Yeah.
meaning when they say democracy, it means blow everything up, death, destruction, torture, maim everything, rape everything. That is the more correct use of the words than democracy.
Yeah.
When it is in their hands.
Yeah.
I really think that if we put the right labels on things, it would be so much easier. It was just CIA. If you said the cocaine import agency, that would be more correctly. The White House should be called the Satanic House. Do you know what?
It's so true.
Or repaint it black, and put the dragonial towers on it. Then you see, oh, I got it. Well, let the politicians have like the Formula One drivers with all the sponsors labels on them, so you can see, okay, I get it. Coca-Cola, United Fruit, Standard Oil. I get it now. I know why you are in this position.
Absolutely. And if you look at the CIA and you look at the CIA badge of honor, they've got a skull and bones in the middle. And it's the pirates. And I've only just come to realise this in the last 2 years, but it frustrates me how people just can't see that, and they don't want to see. They don't want to understand what's really going on, and they'd rather not, to be honest with you.
But the thing is, it's so painful to wake up.
Yeah.
Because once you start seeing that, oh my God, what can I hold on to?
Yeah.
It's so much it's based on total lies. I mean, my God, it's just really people, what can I hold on to, And once they start seeing, oh my God, I've enslaved myself for the rest of my life from a fraud because somebody in a suit said, yes, we trust you, here, sign this paper, and whatever you do, don't worry, we'll just take everything you own and you will put you in debt forever and ever if you cannot pay. Just that one is enough to freak people out and say, it can't be true. It just can't be true.
That's true. And that's what I love about your message. Your message is actually one of hope and promise. And I want to get there.
I think that they're using different countries as test runs. In Sweden, they're using it for testing out a currency, digital currency only. That country, go there, it will freak you out. You can only use credit cards now. It's almost like the beggars have one of these credit cards machines as well. If you go to the local market, they need to have credit card things. Even the Monopoly, if you buy a Monopoly in Sweden, it's with credit cards, not with notes anymore. The banks don't deal.
You are joking.
No, I am not. I was there last summer. I was just like, you must be kidding me. The banks did not accept money. They said, I came to put money in my account. They said, no, sorry, we don't deal with cash anymore. And what they also do, I love this one. The Swedish banks do not accept your passport as a legal ID. I mean, go figure. How is that possible? It's okay for you to travel everywhere in the world, but not in a bank. You cannot use it there. This is how they undermine it. Here in Spain, we had the NIE. I don't know how long you've been here. It used to be a plastic card with a fingerprint, your face, your name, your social security, all of that was on that in a plastic card. And then they had this brilliant idea, let's just ruin the whole system. Let's everyone get a new NIE with no photo, no identification, no nothing. It's green and it's on a paper and it's this size, so it's so uncomfortable to wear around, but you have to have it on you, yeah? And then you take that one, you go to the bank and say, but this is me. They say, no, it's not. But this is the proof that I am me. No, it's not. We cannot accept that. This is how they undermine it. They're trying to get the power away from us. So this is why I think when these things happen, it's like they call it stepping stones. A little here, a little there, a little look, a little here. You won't see what's going on, but there's this wall coming fast moving towards us, you know, like this. And this is why when you see these signs, react. I think react, not violently, just say, listen, I'm sorry, I do not accept this. This is not okay, because the people in the banks or the people in the passport controls or the people wherever have no idea. They think they're doing the right thing. They're totally asleep, totally duped. They have no idea. They just think, yeah, but the rule says that this is the way it should be. Well, I'm sorry, who made up the rules?
Well, that's right. So every individual's compartmentalized, that's for sure. Okay. And then David Icke would call that, what you're talking about, the totalitarian tiptoe. So the edging closer and closer, and it's coming from all directions, so it seems they're all disconnected. But in fact, when you put the dots together, there's one central point that's controlling everything. And it's so implausible that you think, this can't be the case. There's no way anyone would be evil enough or clever enough to have such a vindictive plan. But it is the case.
I wish I could say you're off your rockers. I say it is spot on.
Yeah.
But this gives me so much hope, because then we're only looking upon one little group, you know. And if you look at it, if you know anything about mathematics, you know, if you have 2,000 or 5,000, if you can compare that number with 7 billion, is it anywhere near each other, the numbers? No. Say that you have maybe 10,000 people in this New World Order. I think that is a high number. I think there are actually less than 10,000. We are, depending on who you trust when it comes to counting, around 7 billion. 10,000, 7 billion. Why are we even having conversations like this? It is a joke. The size of them is like a grain on a beach, a grain of sand. If the wind starts blowing, they will blow away. You won't even notice that they're not there. But they're pumping up their egos through this thing called media. They use this as a massive, megaphone that is just pumping out this fear into your house, into your home, through the TV, through the radio, through the film, saying, we are powerful and you are weak.
Yep, that's right.
This is the only way they can control us. They need to freak us out. Otherwise, why would we even listen to them? You know, we should just say, listen, you want a war? Go fight your war. Yeah. I will go and have a cold beer with my friends. And I'm sorry, nobody else will listen to you either. Because 99.99999% of people are beautiful people, peace-loving people that just want to be left alone, having life in comfort, take care of their children, have some good friends, have a party from then on, and be happy. And these ones are like a serial killer that is haunting the neighborhood. You don't know who they are. There's only one. You only need one serial killer to freak a whole city out. And this is what they base this whole thing on. You know, they need an external enemy to freak you out so that we will accept their totalitarian military martial law.